What's going on, you guys? It's Isaac with SmokeWithFrankiJaye. Today we're back with Dutch Touch Genetics, and last time we were in the dispo. Today we brought it down to the studio, and we're with Jeff and John. So thanks, guys, for coming out. If you want to introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about what you do at Green Labs and Dutch Touch, that'd be dope.
Yeah, no problem. I'm Jeff, basically. Green Labs, I'm in charge of doing all the solventless washing to make the hash, and do any of the pressing for the rosin. I also do like our Dutch Crunch gummies with the RSO. And honestly, realistically, I try to go anywhere around that building and do work wherever they can put me, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm one of the few people in there, like, we do have a select amount of people that we can do all the different jobs in there, but a lot of it's because, like, this is what we've been doing a good majority part of our life.
Yeah, you told me that we got in a little bit of conversation before this, and you said that you've been growing since you were 15 or 16.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that. How'd you get into growing so young? What happened? Not what happened. Explain to me how you get into that. What in childhood brings you to grow it?
I mean, for me, I would say it just probably goes back to I just liked planting like vegetables, growing stuff like that when I was little. My grandparents always did it. See them do it, and it's just something I got into doing. And, you know, started smoking when I was younger and naturally kind of wanted to see what that was about. And one day it just kind of started and kept growing into something bigger and bigger and bigger and got more and more into it.
Hell yeah. You remember your first time smoking?
Yeah. Actually, I do.
Yeah.
I really do. I remember the 3 friends I was with and everything, where we were at, what
Give
we
me
did
everything.
after.
Everything go.
Okay, back in the day, all I really used to do was just, like, when I was in school, I would go skateboard all the time. Like, I was heavy into skateboarding, stuff like that, and I just had this group of friends that we would hang out with. They smoked. I did not. But then there was just this one day that they were like, hey, man, come on, you want to try? And I was like, all right, cool, yeah.
Fuck it.
And honestly, I really enjoyed it.
It was the best high ever?
Yeah, I mean, we went and got food, and it was the best food I ever ate.
Wow.
It's just something that I just really enjoyed doing, and I just kind of got into it here and there after that and became more of a frequent user, you know?
I also still remember the first meal I ate high.
Yeah,
best meal ever.
I think everyone
It was
does.
rallies, and I didn't really enjoy rallies, and we got it, and I was like, dude, I looked at my friend. I just remember being just gone, dude. Like, I'm seeing reality in pictures. It's not video anymore.
Yeah.
And I look at my buddy after I ate a fry. I almost, like, shed a tear, and I was like, I can taste the ground that this potato was grown in. Like, I can taste its ancestry.
Didn't know things could taste that good.
Yeah. It was insane.
Wow. You guys all remember your first meal when you were high? I'm trying to think of mine right now. What was your first meal when you were high, John? First ever high meal, I guess.
We asked the questions that need to be asked.
I don't know. I just remember,
absolutely.
like, one time in college, like, we got really baked. And we made brownies, just normal brownies.
Okay.
And, we got them out of the oven, and my one friend, he just, like, couldn't, like, hold himself. He was just, like, so giddy and, like, geeked on these brownies that he was just, like, and he just had no words. He was just like, uttered speechless of how glorious these brownies smell, and then like, you're about to like just, yeah.
They were the best brownies ever, though.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. That's very cool.
No other way.
No other way.
Honestly, like you could eat like a Triscuit. You'd be like, yo, these grains right here. I could taste all 11 grains.
Dude, that's how I felt about those Cinnamon Toast Crunch we were eating the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
We were streaming. By the way, check out YouTube and soon to be Twitch. We're doing a little more live streaming, just hanging out. And honestly, just smoking and doing whatever. Mostly just random YouTube stuff.
Yeah, we're just watching stupid clips and smoking weed.
We did do some new stuff. We talked about the plane crash.
We did.
Which we didn't.
Big event.
I say they didn't have much info, but there was another plane crash the day after.
I could just keep seeing stuff about plane crashes.
It's just crazy.
The first one was crazy. The first one was crazy. There was a Black Hawk helicopter at the airport.
Yeah.
In DC, and it was like flying like 150 feet higher than it was supposed to or something. And this plane was coming in for a landing and crashed. And then I seen a video of the flight path before it. It had dodged like 3 planes already.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, the FAA talked about it today. They were like, oh yeah, there was only one person working that control tower.
What?
Wow.
And so, yeah, apparently.
Aren't there usually like 30 or 40 people in a control tower?
It's usually like a handful, but like typically a big airport will have like at least like 5 to 6. Some like they're not international, I don't think. So they usually have at least 2 to 3. But like I've heard, I can't verify, but somebody said that like there was 2, and then one of them didn't feel good, so they let her go home, and he's just like, I got it by myself, dude.
Dude, that's why I get high. I get really, really high before I get on airplanes. I don't know about you guys, but I get extremely baked. Weed actually got me over my fear of flying. Like, I did not like flying very much for a long time, and then I just get so baked before I go that it's like, I don't even know I'm flying. You know what I'm saying?
So what are you doing on the flight then? Like, you get the munchies, and then you got to be like, oh, man, it's going to cost me a fortune.
Sleep.
You know?
Sleep.
Sleep. Yeah.
Usually, I always get to the airport, and I'm like, fuck, man, these snacks that I packed super high because I'm trying to move fast. So, like, I grabbed a bag of, like, almonds out the fridge or something. It's disgusting. I'm at the airport, and I'm like, fuck. So I always get a shitty meal at McDonald's, and then that's never very good. And then I sit down.
It's over,
yeah, and then I just feel like shit for a while, and then I get on the flight, because, you know, I always get to the airport way too early, because 45 minutes is honestly not early enough
Better
for me.
than late.
Yeah, no, I'm like 2 hours kind of guy. Yeah, I'm like a 2 hours kind of guy.
We almost, as a group of 17 flying back from Mexico, we almost missed our flight, because there was some, like, we were staying at, like, a resort all together for a wedding, and they had, like, they make you tell them the day before, like, what time you're leaving, so they have your bags ready, everything like that. We had transportation scheduled. Everybody was on time. They didn't, like, grab our bags for, like, the longest time. That put us back an hour, and then there was a pileup on the highway, which put us back another hour and a half.
Scared in Mexico.
Dude, we pulled up 17 deep running through the airport with bags. And, like, waited in line. The machines weren't working, dude. I was, like, 100%, like... We gave him some money, and we're just like, yo, we have to make this flight. This is like 35 minutes before the flight. Oof. So they kind of, like, rush us through and put all of our bags and stuff. They're like, just put them here. We're going to treat them like carry-on. So no, like, you know, the same shit as a carry-on, like the little tiny liquids only. So we're just right next to the security machine, sprawled open, like 15 bags. And
you paid off the Mexican security guards?
No. We had given a tip to the Delta desk workers that were there. Okay. Yeah. So
a nice chunk of cash.
I'm telling you, this one lady, she saved our asses. Like, bro, you know what it would have cost to reschedule 17 flights for... There wasn't the flight till next day, too.
Stuck in Mexico.
Dude. Somehow, like, we literally held the gates open because all of us weren't there yet. And it was... Somehow made the flight. Everybody on the flight was pissed at us. But that get to the airport early.
Yeah, I get to the airport early. I get there high. I always have a driver. I always have a plan. It's
stoner with a plan.
Yeah, it's a plan. Always a plan.
Immediately when I get in there, I usually feel like I forgot something.
Yeah,
every time. The whole time.
I feel that way.
And I'm like,
on the way there, it's usually when I get in the car and I like turn the corner and it's like, can't tell him to turn back now. I'm like, where is my fucking socks?
Like every flight I've taken the past like 5 years, I like pack for the night before.
Yeah.
Because I'm like so paranoid about forgetting everything. Mm-hmm. Like,
yep.
Just to make sure.
I'm the same.
That's the Quirkle. You said you don't like the Quirkle very much, eh?
It's just a preference.
Not your favorite of the strains.
That's the thing. I mean, we got a lot of different strains.
Yeah.
There's handfuls that I just don't enjoy.
Yeah. Fair.
There's some that, like, okay, cluster. I've been smoking that for years.
Yeah.
I'll probably not stop smoking it.
Never.
It's one of the ones that it does it for me, so I'll always buy it. There's other strains that we got that I love too. It's just, I think it's probably for anybody. Everybody has their preferred strains, and I mean, just because I might say like, I think this one's bad or I don't enjoy this one, that does not mean it's bad weed.
No, absolutely not.
That just means I'm not particularly enjoying it. There might be reasons why, but that doesn't mean you might not. Like, you might enjoy it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. What is your favorite? You think cluster is probably your favorite? You guys are
that we have.
Yes. Yeah. Favorite the Dutch Touch.
Angelica's pretty close up there. I like Death by Funk. I like Death Star. I love platinum cookies when we grow it. I do enjoy the milk and cookies, but I mean, there are some other strains that I like that we just don't have.
The nose on the milk and cookies isn't my favorite, but the way it smokes is. I really like the way it smokes.
Yeah, I like the way it
That's
smokes
good.
too.
Yeah, I did. The first time I saw it, I was like, man, I don't know if I want to smoke. I just don't know if I like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And once I bought it and I got it, I was like,
I don't
This
feel like it
smells
has
very
like
good.
as loud of a nose as most like cookie strains do.
mm-mm.
But when you smoke it, like I like the flavor of it and I like the effect of it. And I honestly think it's one of the cooler looking weeds where you get like the kind, foxtail and type of structuring of the bud going on, where sometimes that can be a bad thing, but I think most people just think it's an ugly look to a bud, but some weed just does that. It's in the genetics. They're going to do that. Some won't.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. We were talking a little bit before, and we were talking about some of the better looking strains for sure. What's the best looking strain you think you got right now? Sitting on the shelves right now. If from like a shelf appeal completely.
Currently like available, I mean, I would say Garlic Breath is one of our really showy type of very high bag appeal strains. There's also some other stuff we got coming, but I'm not 100% sure if it's made it to the dispensary yet, but like Purple Lambo.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple different
one
phenos
looks
of
real fire.
that one is very on point as far as looks and
It's
smell.
on it, too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think it's going to be a very good one. I haven't had a chance to smoke it yet or nothing, but I have pretty good like hopes that one's going to be one of the better ones for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one you're excited about. I'm excited about that. That
Remember,
sounds fire.
Taking a picture of it.
Purple Lambo.
Actually, I have a picture of it.
One of the OGs.
One of the
OG cushion.
Yeah.
I mean, with triple OG from Exotic Mike. I mean,
The nose on it.
Exotic
Oh.
Mike, Exotic Genetics Mike. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
that's who Milk and Cookies is by. Our Falcon 9.
Okay.
We run a few things from him. I think
You
pretty
should
sure
send this to me
Mr.
so
Clean's by
viewers
him.
can see what
I
I'm
saw on your
saying.
Instagram that you had some stuff that was a little bit older on your Instagram from
Actually, we just took
from him.
have another
Oh, yeah.
picture.
Yeah, I mean, there was like that's
Ones
part
we
of what
just
I did
harvested.
too. I used to get rid of seeds.
Really?
I'll send that.
What's that? That's beautiful. That
Which one
shit
is
looks
that?
crazy.
The 6 or
That's
the 10?
That's which one was before? Was it the 10?
I think it was a 10. Yeah.
Yeah. The 6 looks really good.
They both look really
Yeah,
good.
really.
It's just
Actually, honestly, they both.
where you really see the differences when you
Yep.
smell it. And when I've been doing these test washes here for all the different phenos that we have, I noticed that right away when I wash like the 6 versus the 10. The 10 has a different kind of nose on it versus like the 6. I mean, I get a little more of like a fruitiness to there where the 10 has a more sharper gas tone.
Mm-hmm.
But looks wise, they have very similar looks. Both very beautiful buds. They both smell good. It's just I think one has a little more of a like bite to it as far as when you smell it.
Absolutely. So explain some of the viewers might not know, but you wash hash for a living pretty much. What is washing hash? What happens when you wash hash from plant to hash when it gets in the jar? What steps do you take?
Basically, when we do like harvesting, we will plan in where we're going to go in and take specific strains. Depending on what the flowering time is for that strain and what color we might be going for when we make those concentrates. If we want to go for lighter color, or just your normal kind of yellowish color, we're going to hit those strains maybe a little bit early, get in there, pick them out. We'll put them in bags, and then we're going to freeze them in a cryogenic freezer. And then basically after that, we can hold them in there for any amount of time necessarily. But obviously, the quicker we make stuff, the better it's going to be.
Yep.
And then after that step, we'll transfer into our room where we'll take and we're going to load up all of our washers. We try to get all our water as cold as possible. I think down to like -36 is what we're running it at right now.
Wow. Super cold.
Our cryos are -86. And then we got a secondary freezer in the room that we wash in that keeps everything like when we're about to run it at like -40.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll pull it out. We're running the water at 36. We're using the ice, the wash machines. I'm going to take and run it through that in certain intervals.
You're literally just dumping the weed in.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're running it like that. We're letting basically that's going to get the material so cold that it's going to sever the trichomes, and we're going to collect those after we pull all the water out, run it through the micron bags, and then basically that separates it according to size. runs all the water through. We take all the plant matter out, and then basically we're going to take that hash material. We freeze dry it. After the freeze dry, we sift through it, and basically I try to clean it up as much as possible, and then I pick my certain microns where I'm going to go and be like, I'm going to run, say, 73 through 150.
The bags.
Yeah.
Like the bags that you're picking out.
Yeah, and that's
What are the bags? Yeah, so the numbers on the side of the pucks. What are those? When I see like 73 and 130, those are just the numbers on the micron bags that
that's
you're picking out?
basically, okay, like my sets I'll run, I'll have like, as low as a 40 versus as high as like a 150 or a 160, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think my 160, that's kind of my like point where I don't want to take hash from a bag that's any higher than that, because that's where I have a lot of plant material.
You'll leave a lot of plant material over. Okay.
And basically what those sizes mean is that, like, okay, some layers are going to catch more heads versus stalks. And you'll run each different strain and you'll notice, like, maybe, like, okay, my cluster funk. My technical, what I call the money bag, where that's my bag that I get the most return out of. I believe for a cluster it was 73, but on some other strains it's the 90.
Mm-hmm.
And I get less micron off that. And then, terp-wise, I mean, it varies through all the different levels. I mean, I try to stay away from the lower micron stuff, too. And you generally don't see it in the different products, too. People putting 25 micron in there. Or even 40. It's just, I think those are where a lot of times in your washes, it's hard not to take some of that plant material and liquefy it. When you do that, it gets down into those lower microns, and sometimes it'll turn out a little darker color, so a lot of people just don't put them in there.
You think color matters when it comes to hash, or?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. A lot of people, but I mean, I guess it's how would you say it matters more? How you're buying it versus what you're going for. I think when people look at it and they see something that's not, like, say, a whitish or a yellowish color, they automatically assume that that's not that good.
I immediately assume this weird terp profile in my head. I don't know why, but it's this weird burnt terp profile that, like, I get, like, it reminds me of a metal nail almost when I see like dark hash. Yeah, a little rusty.
But see, okay, that's not always the difference. I mean, and that goes as back as early as what I was saying before, like, when we're planning what hash we're taking, and if it's, say, a 9-week strain and we're flowering for 9 weeks, but I want to go for a light colored hash or super almost clearish, white color. I'm going to go in there really early, say, 7.5 weeks, and try and pull stuff. That way, none of those trichomes have started their color change where they go from a clear to milky white to an amber. And basically what your darker stuff a lot of times means, over the time, when those resin glands change, say maybe you get a darker rosin one time. That could just necessarily mean that, instead of running live rosin, maybe they ran cured. And when they ran cured, what happens with cured stuff? Your trikes age and they change color and they get darker, more amber.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So then it transfers over into the product. I mean, you can literally do that. I mean, you could even take something that you run and it turns out very light colored, leave it sit for a month or two, go back to it, revisit it.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be 3-4 shades darker.
Absolutely. I have some stuff in my bag right now that I forgot about. Some of the snow melts, and I really liked that stuff when I got it. It was really light. It was really nice. And, like, I opened it today, and I was like, holy crap. It had been sitting there it's been in there for a month and a half, no fridge, changing temps, going from my car to the inside of places. So
color for me is that I can look at stuff and get an idea of when that person might have ran their stuff. I mean, I think that's what you notice, too, when you see your cheaper rosin out there, too. You're not noticing that, does it say live rosin anymore? Or some of them just say rosin.
Some of them just say hand-washed.
But what does that mean for as far as the material?
Yeah.
How old was the material? Was it cured material? Was it live material?
We were talking about that. I didn't realize that people really made rosin out of trim. Like, I didn't realize you could press all that much material or get that much product out of trim when you're pressing it.
You can, but it's like, I think what it comes down to is like, okay, your percentage returns on when you're washing bud versus when you're washing actual trim. You are going to have to run 10 times the amount of material for trim as you would for bud to get an equivalent amount of hash out of there.
Crazy.
you're going to have to run high volumes.
The compression of it is insane. Just putting it under the press.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea in a sense. It's just you're finding another way to use something, that you wouldn't normally use for that process if you can do that. But I don't know. I just don't think it makes the best quality.
When you started growing, were you washing? Or were you just growing? Or did you start washing at Dutch?
It was more I would wash here and there for like personal. We had a little, the Bubble Magic washers and stuff. We'd have those and just do those and run them through bags. And you would just make some hash to keep all for yourself to smoke. Yeah. And then you would, really what it got to, I remember when rosin first started getting big, everybody was pressing nugs with hair straighteners.
Mm-hmm. I used to see that on YouTube all the time.
And I'm not even going to lie.
Did you ever see that?
That is when I got into it. Because I remember some of the first stuff I was squishing, it was like we were squishing nugs at Gorilla Glue. We were doing a gram and getting 0.4 back. And it was like blowing my mind.
That's crazy.
That was some clear, nice looking stuff. So we were just like, there's more to this. And then as time went on, you would just be on Instagram and you'd notice like all these other different people in bigger operations, they would start doing more with things. And then they'd figure out more and more that, hey, we can do this with it. We can do that. And then where we're at today with rosin versus where it was back in the day.
The rosin game is crazy right now. The rosin game is insane right now.
Every day too.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. I love it though. It's one of my favorite things as far as, cannabis products to smoke. Other than that, I love smoking joints too.
Yeah. If you have a go-to, are you smoking rosin or are you smoking joints?
Honestly, I guess it would depend on the time of day and what I'm going to go do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both. I usually am smoking both. Both are my go-to. I usually like to keep, joints or that in my pivot.
Yeah.
Pivot's very nice.
Are you joints all the way?
I usually actually do.
You told me.
Vaporizer.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? Because that thing is sick.
Yeah.
Because I remember
I handed it to Rami and he was like, what in the world?
I got a big Buddha. You know what that is?
Was that like one of the first vapes or the vaporizers?
Yeah, whatever? So it's just like basically just a heat, like a little fucking heating core, and then a tube over it like an L, and you just stuff the weed in there with a fucking little strainer, and it's just like a hookah hose just attached to it. So you literally just
what is that? The Bel Air.
90% air.
Oh yeah.
I forget what that is.
Yeah, everyone knows like the volcano. Like back in the day, you're like, oh man, I know one guy that had a volcano. Actually, it was sweet, right? That big bag. Yeah, you could just chill, just kind of.
They're still expensive
and
too.
It's still good though.
Rami found one for $150 on Facebook Marketplace the other day.
That's cheap.
It is super cheap.
It's really cheap.
Yeah, this thing it's kind of the volcano's portable. So essentially it's like a way to kind of get the same thing going on.
I thought it was like a super powered vape, but then I tasted it and I'm like, oh, that.
Yeah, it just has like a little chamber in there, and then you just put straight flour.
Oh,
and
that's
then
awesome.
You also have these little caps, and then you can mix and concentrates. So you can do bubble hash, you can do, really anything. Anything. And you just kind of mix it in there, and then this thing heats up to like 400 degrees, and then the whole thing pivots, and then you just kind of hit it. And what's great about this is that you get like the best tasting experience, I think, with flour that you can, because you really just get the terps. You really can kind of fine tune like what the plant actually offers. So sometimes there's a lot of weed out there, and it may look good or it may smell good, but sometimes the taste just isn't there. But this is definitely a great way to kind of find out.
Yeah.
What's real.
That's sick. And there's a lot of other factors. Like we were talking just before here about papers. We'll had a paper discussion.
Yeah.
And I just found out that like most of the higher end papers are all the same company.
You didn't know.
I didn't know that.
I figured a couple of them
we were
here
just
and
talking
there,
about that,
but
yeah.
like I didn't know, because you're a big Element guy.
Big paper
I'm
man.
all
and
Element.
Big paper.
he always like shits on me because I have a lot of raw stuff, and I like brand imaging sometimes, and it's just like
the raw's cool as shit.
The raw cone, I'm a big fan of that. We bring those out to events.
See, I was never really cone. Like I struggled really hard to roll, but once I did, it's like.
I think
you're packing a cone. Are you serious?
I think a big reason I like raw too is because like, look at the owner.
Yeah.
That dude's one of the coolest dudes.
He's wild.
Super wild.
Way out there.
He does a lot for
his TikTok
communities
is super
too.
Good though. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a real cool dude. And he's honest about all the stuff
he's
that he
very
does.
open.
The Raw Foundation is like no bullshit. Like I really believe like that is 100% going to exactly what they say it's going to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's cool.
A lot of charities are not like that. But I feel like is charity, does he refer to it as something different than a charity? Is it? I feel like he's said something about it not being a charity before. Sure. So I don't want to misword that.
I don't know.
But
I don't think
not 100% on that.
I don't know. But that Josh is definitely a cool dude. And like his social media presence is also huge.
Oh,
so
he kills it.
Like how are you going to buy any other paper if he is literally pushing out every single product that you could ever imagine to smoke with?
Like no other.
Oh my god!
I literally last week was just on. we were FaceTiming.
Every
I was
day.
just on Raw's website, or they have a third party retailer that sells their stuff through their website or off of their website, and they just have the wildest stuff. Like I got the boarding passes, and it was like $2.
I wish I would've brought one
I ordered
over.
like 5 of them. I ordered like 10, and then my homie was like, "Why do you need 10?" I was like, $2.
We're gonna use it on the ski lift. We're gonna roll up with a
Dude,
boarding
he
pass.
has everything. They had, what was it, book bags. They had pajamas at one point. I think. God, there was so much stuff that he's had. I even got a couple of the different things. I like it's the double barrel and the trident that holds the multiple joints at a time.
You like the hitting the 3 or 4 joints at a time?
Yeah, I mean, we used to. Oh my.
Do you ever mix strains on
all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the funner things to do, and I mean that's also too like something part of what I do. Like if I ever want to make a mixed run, a bubble hash, and rosin, I mean that's a good route that I go where I take and mix 2 flowers together and see what that combination like, what the terps mix together like, because there's certain strains that we have that honestly you could not pair any of our other strains with because those terps on the one strain are just so dominant and overpowering that you'll probably lose the flavor of the other strain. Some strains mesh super well together where you can taste a good amount of both.
Do you have a favorite? Like, do you have a favorite terp combination?
The Death Star Forbidden Jelly one was a really good one.
Yeah.
I did. I just finished my Death Star.
You love it?
It's pretty good.
Rami loves Death Star.
Yeah, that was a nice batch.
Dude.
First strain I ever smoked at a job.
I love Death
It's
Star.
near and dear.
Death Star's good. I mean, but honestly, Death Star's probably like over the years that I've grown, my least favorite strain to grow.
I've heard that from a lot of growers because it's so hard to grow. It's
very picky, finicky. Like she likes certain things a certain way, and if you don't do that, that plant is gonna look like you haven't been taking care of it right. And I mean, as long as you do everything right and you're able to adjust to that plant's needs and get through the whole grow process, the plant's fine other than that. However, once you make it to that trim process, then you're like, okay, I don't like this strain that much.
Yeah.
It is one of the most nightmarish strains to train. I just hate it. There's a lot of leaf right there. It's easy to cut too much off of the Death Star and make it not look how it's supposed to look.
It's very airy.
And I think it's because of that sour diesel influence. Like, and I take that back too. Like back in the day when I'd grow sour diesel, that was one thing I noticed. That was a strain that was super easy to actually trim and take too much off of and make it look not how it should. And that's one of the things I like about what we do. We're trying to do things to make, stuff how we've always liked it. We like smoking a certain type, so we just try to stick to doing the same things we've always done.
That's super dope. Yeah. John's told me before. I mean, you told us on the podcast that you guys are just some guys that all kind of are some old school growers that are trying to pop it out there and grow some weed. And that's super dope. You know what I'm saying?
We're as serious about it, in the sense of trying to grow a quality product that we can bring to the market. Before we even had this place, say when we were just doing for ourselves, you would hear about if you come to our place and work there at our facility, you have to shower multiple times. If you're entering different rooms, after each different room, you're going to go in, shower, change clothes, and then go to your next area you're going into. When we would do things before Green Labs existed, just for us, back in the day, that standard was still the same thing. We would go to the spot, new clothes, we would do the whole shower, this, that, and then we would go do our thing. We didn't take outside stuff into the grow, because I think that's one of the biggest ways to, contaminate a grow, bringing in bugs, whatever. I mean, and I see things too where it's like, you know, in the areas we're at and stuff, you'll see other places where it's just like they walk out of the building in their scrubs and they go to the store and then they go back into their building. And I'm just thinking,
see, I was gonna ask, like,
no hairnets, no.
Is
Yeah,
that,
I'm thinking, how
is
does
that
that
a
work?
normal thing to shower? Like, is that a thing that like most grows do? You shower when you go in? Is that like a very, very standard thing?
I will
or-
say this. I think where you're going to find that there's places doing that, you're going to meet people who actually care about the plant that they're growing.
Absolutely.
You know,
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, absolutely.
where they're not looking at it as we just need to do this quick. They want to do it and they want to do it right and they want to bring a product that they actually want. I mean, who wants to grow something that they don't enjoy smoking?
That's gross.
If you're doing that, what's the point?
Yeah, no. Why would you do that?
I want to rethink what you're doing.
Growing for the money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
lot
whole
of it's
nother
just
thing.
Grown to extract as much as possible out of it, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like, or what the conditions are in it. You know, especially extracting. So a lot of junk on the market. It's
A lot of it's just made for BHO, right?
You know,
Just like extraction.
I think that's why like things are like, okay, you see the cheaper ounces and stuff like that and the lower quality stuff. I think that's what a lot of it comes to because the market is so geared towards, you know, extracts.
Mm-hmm.
And flour is so cheap because it seems like extracts is one of the few things left that still, you know, holds some value where it's like the flour price just seemingly just keeps scaling down.
It's a chemical process, you know what I mean? Like, you're a chief scientist, basically. So
Yeah.
And
it's not a process somebody could do nearly as good at home, like you said.
No,
Like,
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, because at home, most people are only going to take certain steps to do certain things or to make sure they're doing things in a safe manner.
yeah, and it gets expensive.
Yes, I was going to say
really
when you're getting into the extracts, as soon as you start doing that, the price starts going up.
Crazy.
And it's
To be
just-
safe, for
Yes.
sure. To be safe, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you got to have everything right. You got to do. You want like a booth, a C1D1. You want to be able to do that where you know you're going to operate and not essentially harm anybody in that room or in the building.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you got to face the fact that you're operating a pressurized system that's full of flammable gas.
I was watching. I didn't realize. I was actually watching some stuff earlier this week. I didn't realize that like the old school BHO, like when they were making, like it's like equivalent to like meth, like the danger of like having a meth lab almost. Like it'll blow up the same way. Like it's the same sort of chemical. Like
it's dangerous too in the sense when you're like, okay, think about when people do it like that and they're just say out in their garage or wherever else, or they're going indoors and they're doing it. A lot of it's dangerous because you don't see where the butane or whatever is going because it's so heavy that it sinks straight to the ground. And if you're standing up, you can't smell it or anything like that. And even the slightest spark's gonna.
Heard it usually just like it hits an outlet or something. Like it'll just drain to
Fridge could turn on, or
Yeah.
you know, you plug something in, or just I mean, you go to touch something and let static go off. That's all it takes.
Wow, that's insane.
Super dangerous.
Yeah.
So I mean,
absolutely.
to do it right, I mean, you got to have all the right equipment if you want to keep everybody safe.
I still remember the days of just hitting some shatter and just tasting like how much butane was made.
Tasted the way the torch smelled, eh?
Kissed the lighter. It was crazy.
is that like the pop can era, with flour?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
oh,
I
dude,
miss-
smoked
I miss
some
good
dirty
shatter. I miss good shatter.
You've had. Tell me about good shatter. I was gonna ask you. What do you think about BHO, and is there good BHO out there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 Sure there is. I mean, you're just operating in different spectrums as far as what you're recovering from there. I think everything has its pros and cons. You know, BHO has its pros and cons. Rosin has its pros and cons.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean,
There's shitty rosin out there for sure.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, I like BHO too. BHO is what I basically started smoking. I mean, because that's what there was before people started having rosin. Because rosin wasn't around, you just had basic bubble hash or brick hash.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you really had. So I mean, yeah, I love it when there's actually good resin out there, and I think it really just comes down to the people, the process, the equipment they're using, and are they taking all the right steps to make sure that they are purging all that excess gas or anything that's in their product out so they can put to the market, the cleanest possible product.
Yeah.
Plus good flour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to start from good flour.
Yeah.
Do you guys grow from seed or cocoa? Or soil or cocoa? I'm sorry.
Cocoa.
It's cocoa.
100% cocoa.
100%
Seed
cocoa.
inception.
That's very nice.
I mean, I've grown all different manners of ways. I've done hydro, dirt. I mean, you name it, I've done it. But, I mean, cocoa is my favorite.
Yeah.
I can achieve exactly what I want to do with the cocoa. It's honestly super easy to do. It is high maintenance in a sense, but, I mean, I think growing any plant is high maintenance.
Absolutely.
Would you say you're in love with the cocoa?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Get it for the low.
No, it's actually, and that's the thing about it. Like, too,
where is he going with this? Too earlier, I had to bring it up.
Cocoa's not exactly the cheapest thing to grow out of either.
No, it is expensive.
I mean, it grows like hydro does, but I mean, you're using a medium, but that medium also doesn't, hold on to the nutrients, say like dirt does. Where with dirt, I could, feed a dirt plant here one day and I could water it with regular water the next day and even possibly the day after. Or I feed it again that day after. Whereas cocoa, I'm feeding every single day. And I have a 2-week flush at the end and I'm able to do it. We mark to where where I'm measuring all the ppms of the runoff coming out and I can get everything to where I know my plants are hitting under 50 ppms on runoff, even maybe 0.
Just more dialed for you, eh?
Yeah, and it's just because I have it to where I know what I need to do with that cocoa. Environment-wise needs to be set up, watering, all that stuff. It has to be consistent.
Right.
The plant likes consistency.
When you started growing, cocoa wasn't popping like that probably. What were you were growing straight soil, yeah?
I mean, yeah. I would do soil. I would switch back and forth between soil and hydro.
Okay.
Hydro was more my thing, like growing in like the giant rock wool cubes and stuff like that. And just doing like sea of green tables with just single stalks coming out of those bigger cubes and just doing a bunch of them.
Yeah.
That was just an easier way to do it. But like when I would do dirt, I would usually try to take one big pot, one plant, stretch it out under one light and get it as big as I could to try and get the most out of it versus because with dirt, you're usually growing a shorter, stockier plant that doesn't want to stretch as much and doesn't want to yield as much. So you got to kind of force the growth you kind of want to be apparent there.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have to do maybe 4 more weeks of edge, 5 more weeks of edge versus on like a hydro grow, you can go 2, 3, 4 weeks of edge and go to flower. You're going to have a big plant.
Hell yeah.
A lot of different stuff with growing that. I think that's why I like it so much though. I used to work at the hydro store. I did that for years, and I think that was one of the more fun things there is sitting there teaching all the different people coming.
Did you learn a lot about growing just working at the hydro store?
Yeah, definitely learned a lot from my bosses. I mean, yeah, they have definitely taught me a ton, and then, I mean, working at their shops and everything, it was nice to be able to sit there and talk with all the different customers. They would come in and ask the questions and be in the same position that I used to be in.
Now you're working through it together.
Well, that's the thing. And like when I started doing it, what the bad part about it was in an era where it's just like you weren't just going to go to somebody and somebody was going to teach you how to do this.
Yeah, you couldn't just look it up online.
Couldn't even ask questions. Of
No.
bro, how did you make these tabs?
You're going to have to sit down and try to figure this out yourself. Versus now it's like it's more open. People can do it. It's available. So it's
I can post
like,
it in a Facebook group and have a response in like 20
so
minutes.
When I'd have people coming in the shop and they'd have, legitimate questions about, I want to do this. How do I set up my room, or what equipment do I need? How should I feed this, that? I'm giving them 100% honest opinions. I mean, there was times that people would come into that grow shop and they would think that they needed a certain thing because, someone told them they did or that. And then I would ask them certain questions, kind of diagnose the problems they were having, and just be like, no.
Something completely different.
There's nothing you need. Just go home and do this real quick. And wait, put some water through your plant. You don't need to put, this nutrient on it.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, that person would come back and be like, dude, I did exactly what you said, and that worked. Thank you so much. It's like, I would rather do that for people. I want to see people grow, succeed, achieve what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah. Did it take you a while to figure that shit out, or when you were growing, were you just popping seeds and making them bang?
Yeah, I mean, it took a while to learn stuff, but I was always popping a lot of seeds when I was younger. I mean, I've always been buying the seeds, and
Okay.
Just collecting them, essentially. I mean, for seeds for me have been like, baseball cards for people.
That's super cool.
I see, those new seed packs, and I would just buy them. And it's like, all right, I'm going to grow these next. But then like a week or two later, this breeder would drop new seeds. And it's like, oh, well, I got to get some of these now too. And then like the ones you ordered before, now those get set back because you want to grow these first. And it's just this vicious cycle of you just keep ordering new seeds.
I don't think we need to find one that sells mystery packs and then just do like unboxing
There's definitely
videos, like the Pokemon
there's definitely
cards.
places that do mystery packs of seeds for sure. I've been seeing them here recently more and more.
There's a couple companies out there that do. They'll do like mixed packs of like where they just do like X amount of seeds, and it's certain seeds from a certain line that they have, but they're not labeled. They're just mixed in there together. So you're going to have to plant them, grow them, and figure out what's what.
Wow, that's kind of interesting.
Those are some harder packs to run, but
I
you can find
heard
some
about
crazy
anything
stuff.
like that. That's kind of cool. So it tells you what they are, but it doesn't tell you which ones are which.
Yeah, it was this one company I used to get from. They're not even around anymore, but they're called Cannabis. They used to do these certain mix packs where they would have like this strain, and this strain. They would just take like, I'm assuming probably all the like extra little seeds here and there from different ones, like, and then they would combine them and make one big batch and just say, in this mixed pack that we made up, you're going to find these type of genetics, but you just have, say, a pack of 20 seeds there. You couldn't be like, okay, that's that kind, that one's that kind. You'd have to plant them and find out.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever do it?
Yeah, a couple times. I found some cool stuff in some of their stuff, but, I mean, that's how seeds are. I mean, I would look at seeds as go to the store and buy some lottery tickets. I mean, you might hit big, you might not. You're most likely going to find that loser you're going to throw away, but you're searching for that one strain that you're like, okay, that's the one I like. That's what I want.
Have you held on to any of those cuts from when you were a kid that you're still smoking on? Or are you still growing? Or
No.
No? Do you regret any of those cuts that you're not smoking on? Yeah. What's your biggest regret strain?
The Kosher Kush I used to have, the OG 18 I used to have. I had a really like well-known like cut around Monroe that was like Blueberry Headband. That was I would kill for some of that even to this day.
The best weed you've ever smoked?
Yes. Everything I liked about certain different ones, that had it. And you can't get it anymore. There's certain strains that people did hold on to for a long time and some that they didn't.
You believe there's strains that are completely cut in the industry for sure?
Sure.
What are some big ones? Do you know any of the big ones that you think are like just hugely faked in the industry, or like they're not real and people just say it's
I think
still
one of the
there?
more highly debated ones, and probably highest debated ones, is skunk.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people say they have the real skunk or this, but it's debatable.
Yeah.
And
How do you know you have the real
That's
skunk?
the thing. No one can really confirm it here nor there, but there's people who say they have the real one.
It's all hearsay. It's always like, I heard about this one guy that had cuts. And
the best you can find usually is like you find a good breeder where you do your research on that breeder. Like, okay, one that I follow that a lot of our genetics we have are from this guy. It's Bodie Seeds. And yeah, like he's a guy that he travels around, different countries, different areas, and gets their native seeds. He hunts through those.
That's super dope.
He breeds based on like last when I talked to him he breeds based more on feeling, he feels like this would go good together, that would go good.
Pretty sure there's a Vice documentary on that guy.
Yeah.
Probably there might be.
That guy's pretty well known in the industry for sure.
And see that's
like
when
hiking through the Amazon.
Yeah.
That's a real adventure.
Yeah.
That's crazy going out.
Yeah. He's a real cool dude. And he's one of those guys that he puts out good genetics, but I also know too that he is probably, out of all the people breeding, one of the more well-respected breeders out there. Like, just all the breeders generally like Bodie and respect him. So when he labels, like, this cross is, Chem 91, I believe it.
It's going to be Chem 91.
Yeah, it's going to be. I believe it. He does stuff like he has a strain out. Like, I don't know if you can even get it anymore, but it's called Roadkill Unicorn. original roadkill skunk is in that. And if you have anything from him that has purple unicorn in it, that roadkill is in that. And that has actually made it down generations. So there are strains out there that is in. So there is potential there that you could find a phenotype that extremely expresses skunk characteristics.
But who knows? Because it's all.
Yeah.
Where is it?
I don't know that anybody.
It's gone.
I don't know. I don't know, but I can't confirm that anybody has like a living, standing, like legitimate cut of skunk. But who knows? They might.
I mean, it's like indica and sativa, like the actual original plants. Like you'll never find one because they're just everything's mixed here and there.
Yeah, when you break it down like back that far, then in a sense, all weed strains are the same.
Yeah,
all came from something.
All came from something.
An original something.
right.
Had to.
The first one.
Yeah. I mean, and if strains like, say, Death Star, you know, that's been around for 20 plus years, if somebody kept something like that alive for that long, then I'd be willing to bet. There's still cuts of
skunk out there.
Yes.
There
it's
has
just
to be.
Those guys are not going to share them.
See, that's most of the time, that's what I assume is there's definitely still cuts of these strains out here. But they're locked up in somebody's basement being grown in like
they're growing
4 3x3s.
With a massive tree.
Yep.
They're smoking that shit every day.
Yeah, I'll say they grow it. They smoke it.
Put it on my
they give it to their buddies here and there. But I think a big reason why they wouldn't, it's not out there, you know, like you say, you see all these different strains all over Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the big reasons why certain cuts that are probably still around don't make it out there, because that's one of the first things that's going to happen to them is they're going to go everywhere.
Yeah.
And then once that goes everywhere, then how much is it worth anymore? Nothing, because then everybody and their brother has it.
Yeah. It's like Pineapple Express. Keep it.
Can't flood the market, man.
Yeah, can't flood the market, man.
I think that's why I like the certain strains we grow. Like a lot of the strains we grow, you're probably not going to go find anywhere else.
I don't see most of the strains that you guys grow I don't think, trying to think of one that you guys have that is like.
Maybe platinum cookies?
Yeah. That's the one you listed that I was like, oh, okay, I've seen that out there before. But.
Might see orange kush cake or some lilac out there,
too. Lilac, I think, out there.
Yep.
Yeah, there's lilac.
Key characteristics is just having stuff that's kind of like almost exclusive. You know, you're not going to do rare, terp profile or genetic or just
fire genetics.
Yeah, I mean, because we really try to pick out the ones that are just going to be, ones that we enjoy, and then others will, like other stoners and other people that just enjoy plant.
Yeah, we're not like, I know he's not necessarily breeding for the highest THC, because I mean, in all actuality, high THC does sell, but let's be honest. I mean, just because something is super high THC does not mean it's going to be the best cannabis you've ever smoked.
No,
I have smoked 30+% stuff that left me like, okay,
whatever.
I could smoke another one of those. And then I've smoked some stuff that just barely hit 20 that just floored me.
Yeah.
I think it's more about what else is in there besides just that high Delta 9 or whatever. I would look more at terp percentage and total cannabinoids versus just overall high THC.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to know what's all there. It's like when I look at rosin stuff, I like looking at all those different results just to see like how much of something is someone able to actually extract out of that product.
Mm-hmm.
How much are they leaving behind? And it's fun seeing that stuff.
It is fun to see. I mean, I like watching the rosin videos on YouTube all the time, dude. Like I just watch the little videos on Instagram and stuff, and just rosin extraction in general is so satisfying. Like the fact that you get to do it every day is.
It's always nice, like when you squish and that nice, just drippy ooze starts coming right out of that press and just going down. It's especially like certain strains like cluster.
Mm-hmm.
Just pressing it alone, like sitting in front of the machine, like the minute it starts to heat up, you can start smelling that cluster.
Just the most. Oh, I bet that's the craziest smell ever. I love the smell of cluster funk.
Forbidden was the same when I squished the Forbidden Jelly.
Bet the Forbidden Jelly smells crazy too.
Forbidden's a really good one.
How long has it been since you guys have done a Forbidden Jelly rosin run?
Last year, what was it? Last Best in Grass?
I believe
Awards?
so. Yeah, that was like my favorite product of all time.
Yeah.
Honestly, we had this Forbidden Jelly infused pre-roll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
the rosin. Oh my gosh. I mean,
Those are good.
because Forbidden Jelly, it's a little bit lighter on the THC. So like, you don't really feel it as much, but I mean, the terp profile in it is just so good.
So light.
But when you make the concentrate of it, mix it together, it is just perfect. Really good stuff. Really great taste. And great effect on that one too.
It's also like where I make like some like infused joints and stuff. I like looking at the different aspects of the weed too, where like Forbidden Jelly for me, like he said, it's not the higher THC one. And it doesn't get me, it doesn't deliver as much of an effect. So when I try to mix it with something to say, come up with a better infused joint, I've done some of these things where like I buy certain ones and, at home I'm sitting, I smoke it, I mix it, and I'm thinking, okay, is this going to go good together? And based on, I like the flavor of the Forbidden, but I always think like, man, I wish it had more power and a little bit more of just a slight gas to it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, why not mix it with Death Star? I mixed it with Death Star and it had such a great flavor that I was like, all right, cool. And not everything mixes good. I tried doing Forbidden Jelly with Mr. Clean.
Not your favorite.
And that's one where it was like, because my thought on it was both of those are super strong.
Yeah, that's very sweet. And
I thought like you would taste a good amount of both. And to be completely honest, the Mr. Clean, you tasted all of that over the Forbidden. That was the first thing I ever mixed with Forbidden that was able to overpower that Forbidden type of smell.
Yeah,
and
Mr.
terp.
Clean has like
It's
a nice
strong.
sharp profile.
It does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has a little like sharp mintiness to it.
yeah, Mr. Clean has a crazy
Especially on the
profile.
mighty. Like you can really taste the lime.
I bet that's wild out of the Mighty. See, I'd never tried the Mighty until tonight, and ooh, it definitely meets the level of the Volcano in quality
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's a good portable option.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the battery life on it. This is the Mighty Plus.
How long have you had it?
I've had it for about year and a half or so, 2 years, and no problems.
They got a smaller one too, don't
Yeah, they got
I
all
saw-
kinds of stuff now.
I thought
they? It's
I
like a little
saw-
stick. I want to say
Yeah.
it's like maybe
Yeah,
that
they got this,
tall
like,
and about
hot
that
looking-
wide.
Yeah.
They have it at
And,
the shop now.
They have
this
ooh
weird looking the Venti or
the Venti. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it's
yeah.
called.
it's this like crazy looking contraption. And then,
The Mighty.
they're, German engineering over there.
Yeah. Storz and Bickel.
And man, you know what? They know their stuff. They straight up, I'm telling you, they know their stuff.
Yeah.
It is a great device, and it's just, the Volcano, like I said, it still commands a really high price point because it is quality. Like I think that's what's interesting about cannabis. Now that it's a full blown industry, there's all these devices you can get, right? I mean, all these contraptions you can get, machines that kind of aid you in the process, and even just like for a consumer, like just smokable options, so like the Peak, the Mighty, like having this stuff back in the day would have been amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like thinking about in high school, like having something like this would have been fucking dope,
Dude.
There's just a couple nugs on that man.
Yeah, I mean, and even just vape in general, like back at least in my day, like it was all he had was flour, so it was loud.
If you had a vape back in the day, it was
So-
either you had a Volcano or you had one of those weird like wooden box. They entered the little tube into. You had one of those or you had the Volcano. That's really all I knew as vaporizers back then.
See, that's so crazy. Because I grew up in I'm 22, so I mean like
It might be
I
a little
started.
different. We talk about this at work a lot because we have a lot of people like both generations,
And
millennials.
I started with flour. Luckily, I feel very fortunate that I started with flour.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But like, man, like I see kids out here, they're starting with carts and like
Cart kids.
that's a whole different sort of thing.
It really is. Yeah.
Like I just like it's not. I feel like not.
Smoking that COVID Mario Kart.
No, yeah, no, please you.
Yeah.
I think
Like
that's
blueberry waffle cone.
it's a crazy.
all
It's a
these,
heavy way to enter.
How is that even a thing right now? I don't understand. I mean, I feel terrible. Like, cause even kids my age started with carts. You know what I'm saying? Like that was definitely a big thing. So the fact that it was just like the Volcano in the store, it's like I wish it would have been like that. I kind of do. Like you guys say, you wish you would have had it, but I kind of wish there wasn't all the technology when I started smoking because. Dude, I started smoking flour out of like a Yukon Evolve, like one of those metal, metal coil devices. Like,
Oh, the Yokans.
First time I ever smoked weed.
I had the
was,
quad coil.
Chillum.
Yeah.
Remember those?
The
Chillums. I love chillums.
Like
That
an
was the first
OG
time,
chillum?
dude. And I was like, it was just straight to the lung. You know, it's pretty harsh. Just
Honestly,
I'm not hip to these. Let me.
it's
let
like
me
you have
hear.
like this much clearance. You know, you're just like.
Clearance is like chillum's like just a straight hitter.
Oh, like a one,
Yeah.
like a
Like
little
a-
one
like a
hitter?
one-
shaped like a baseball bat,
okay.
generally.
Yeah, so it's just a rough hit. I mean,
Oh, you
it's
didn't get
like raw.
Oh, we had it.
It's
Oh,
to you.
okay.
It's to you. We're getting high.
Chillum's probably one of my favorite like glass pieces to smoke flour out of.
To
Yeah.
smoke hash out of it's my
It's really easy
Yeah,
to
I like
get
it.
out,
Yeah,
too. I mean, you
yeah.
just
I usually pack a little
hit it,
flour, layer,
toss it,
hash.
you know,
Mhm.
real quick.
See, I got like a bar chillum. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yeah.
I got a chillum I take to the bar, but I also I've switched it now because I end up sharing more. So it's like it's a big dry pipe with a bunch of hash and weed. How you said, like just packing it back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, that's kind of the move. That's kind of the move.
So what was the worst way you had weed? Like smoked flower? Like
The worst way I smoked flower? Okay. Man, this is a terrible thing.
I should not admit this.
Yeah, no, I probably should take this one to the grave. But
Anyways, keep
so,
going.
so we had my sister had like a Barbie house downstairs in the basement with a bunch of Barbies. And I tore an arm off of one of these Barbies. I don't know what got me to think that this was a good idea.
I thought you were about to say you're gonna go for the chimney and smoke out of there because you were just.
No.
Yeah, I was like, this could go
But-
anywhere.
But the Barbie
But-
arm is crazy.
the flower was actually fire. Like, I mean, when I was a kid, I grew up in a bigger city, so like there was fireweed. You know what I'm saying? There definitely was fireweed around. So the weed was fire, but the issue was the Barbie arm that we had here. So we took the Barbie arm, I cut the hand off, all right? And then I took my dad's drill bit. I actually just gave it back to him over Christmas. It was sitting in my drawer upstairs in the office, and I was like, you can have this back now. I'm not a crackhead anymore. So I put the drill bit in the Barbie arm, and then we just packed that drill bit full and smoked it. And I remember seeing my homie hit it, and the cherry started like lighting in the shoulder. And I was like, oh, it's over. But we just didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? We were like, we got to get high. That was probably the worst experience I had with flour, but like I never had terrible flour. I definitely had laced carts though when I was a kid. There was definitely laced carts around. I remember my buddy and I were sitting there one night and we hit a cart, and my buddy looked at me, he's like, don't hit that. I was like, oh, if you're hitting it, I'm hitting it. And I hit it.
it was
and-
DMT.
Yeah, no, we both just fell back on the bed and like, bro,
Wait, really?
gone.
Was it?
No, I don't know what it was.
Oh,
Bro, we were so tripped out off of this shit, and we just sat there and like that was definitely an issue when I was a kid in a city that wasn't legal, in a state that wasn't legal, and we were, buying black market carts.
No test,
like
there's no nothing. I mean,
carts are already not great, and then you make them in Jerry's garage, and it's a whole different
That
story.
was very, very big.
crazy.
Very, very big back in the day. It was like a big thing in Michigan too, where there was this big thing. I want to say it was like out in Detroit area, where there was these guys that like set up people. Like there was a brand they called it was like Mario Karts, I think.
Yep,
Yeah,
Mario Karts.
These dudes had set people up down at the Russell and like ended up shooting these people.
Wow.
Yeah, and these two dudes ended up going to prison for it, and they were the guys behind all the Mario Karts.
Over a couple
they
of cartridges? Were they moving like mad weight or like mad cartridges?
Because
or was
honestly,
it-
one of the back in the day, one of the dudes that was involved in on it, I remember because he was actually with a different company, that very popular one, and they ended up kind of fading out and then showing back up in the industry, but under a different name. But that dude actually went to prison for that because he had lured people there for it was a big thing.
Mario
Mario
Karts.
Karts.
For freaking Mario Karts,
They were
man.
fake or something. And
they were.
Did you have
Eventually,
your?
like once they fell off and it died off, there was still like the demand for Mario Karts. So
Did
they
you
were-
smoke one?
No, God no, dude. It was like even like TikTok was a trend of like the shittiest cards you can buy was a Mario Kart.
We had Supreme Karts, like
See, anything that has a name brand, I'm like, yeah, somebody made this shit in their basement.
It was.
Back when I was doing this a lot too, we had people that would just have, say, Instagram pages where they would go out and just start buying product from different places, and they would go take it and get it tested. And they were out and all these people, just in the
I've
first
heard of that
early
before.
days of the caregiver industry where they were just outing all these different people that were putting out stuff that wasn't representative of the test they were promoting it with, or it was stuff that when they got it tested, it would fail. And there were definitely a lot of companies that were doing that way back in
So
the
you
day.
think they were sending different flour to the testing unit than they were to the stores?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, a lot of people do shady.
Off of the carts once they started like popping off. Like it was COVID. Nobody had anything to do.
What?
The carts were new and hot. Like
people just sitting in their living room smoking brown oil.
Dude, I'm talking to my dude offering me a cart. Like, bro, I got 4 of these for $17. I'm like, bro, I am not touching that. What do you mean?
That is insane.
Dude, it's 98% THC.
See, I
That's
never.
impossible. It'd be a rock, dog.
See, but that's the thing. Like, it can be 98% THC, but it's not a full spectrum. Like, it's such a different type of effect off of
The entourage.
smoking a resin cart versus a rosin cart, or taking rosin versus a resin hit. I get a more enjoyable, effect off of rosin. Personally.
Absolutely.
I always look for I kind of want a similar effect of when I smoke a joint, and rosin gives me that. When I smoke, resin, I can get somewhat close, but when I get into your distillate carts and whatnot, I feel like I'm chasing, where I'm trying to hit this certain point where it's like, where's that effect I'm looking for?
I've heard a lot of people refer to it as the entourage effect. Like, it pretty much closes off your cannabinoid spectrum in your brain. So, like, you only feel THC, where, like, when you smoke flower and rosin, like, you feel everything. You feel CBN, CBD,
it's
THC.
a full spectrum.
Absolutely. It's full spectrum.
That's why I'm not a big fan of those. I tell people, like the dabs are different because, like, you guys can smoke dabs. Like, personally, big flower guy, smoke joints, but when it comes to dabs, to this
Big
day,
flower guy.
Baby lungs with the dabs. So, like, I'm coughing a
Can't
fit.
turn it
My
up.
eyes are seeing different dimensions until I can catch my breath. And but like, man, some of that stuff is just scary.
We're trying to get Rami into the rosin right now. That is a big plan of mine. I'm trying to get Rami into the rosin.
Just a little at a time.
It's not like the carts, man. It's not like the carts.
The carts, they just boost your tolerance with no real effect. You're not really getting that comfortable high. You're just like, it's all in like one part of your brain. It's just getting
It's like a ceiling.
It's like computer high.
Exactly.
You just can't move up.
I call it computer high. That's a really good description.
Like what I'll do is I like to smoke a lot of flower, and then I also like to smoke rosin. But I mean, I can't just sit and continuously do one for an extended period of time. So what a lot of times I'll do is I kind of flip flop back and forth. Because, I mean, if you just sit and smoke straight rosin or resin all the time, your tolerance goes through the roof. And then when you do get to that point where you are smoking that joint, you're like, this isn't really even doing anything to me anymore. I'm just smoking it for pure flavor.
Yeah.
For the CBD.
See, and I feel like that's why I smoke a lot of rosin, though, is because I don't smoke a lot of rosin. It's because I don't have to smoke as much rosin because I have the full spectrum and I stay so... like so high off of rosin all the time.
There's a different level of baked.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think about getting baked on rosin, Rami? Hit me with it, man. We smoked some rosin last night.
We ate a half a bag of dry Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
See, we're getting Rami into the
While
rosin.
watching, what was it? If you've never looked it up, Red Bull Soapbox Racing.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's the
those are
best.
fun.
Oh, it's the best thing ever.
Hilarious. There's whole videos of just them crashing. Recommended completely.
It is the best thing ever. We've been watching it on the live streams, and it's definitely enjoyable. Yeah, for sure.
We decided that they're ever close by. We're gonna build a SmokeWithFrankiJaye one. So
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That should.
Yeah.
You guys absolutely should.
Would you guys come ride some dirt or some soapbox cars?
I'm sure we could find someone, huh?
You got.
Don't
about us.
I thought we were gonna ride it. He's just like, no, I'm just here for more support.
Oh yeah, no, I'm watching for sure. That's crazy.
Yeah.
This is a SmokeWithFrankiJaye event. I'm hosting it more. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Man, we should host one.
That's what I'm saying. I'm hosting it. I'm not
Just
getting
like,
in one of those
have you ever
cars.
seen the videos from like somewhere in England? They roll a thing of cheese down a hill.
Yes.
And the people run after it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's the best thing ever.
We need to do something like that, which is like little go-karts, like Power Wheels or something.
Yeah, but if you watch one of those those people fuck themselves.
Yeah, that's why they're good to watch.
Ragdoll down that damn hill.
Bro.
Like
It's not like a hill.
Hard.
It's like the side of a grassed cliff.
Yeah. They've
It's
added
just
like
steep.
it is. Yeah, it's
They
a
have
Cedar
like
Point
7
ride.
ambulances on standby.
they have like guards now that stand on the mountain and they like, or not the mountain. It looks like a mountain. We're gonna call it a mountain.
We're gonna call it a mountain.
Yeah.
You can definitely ski down
And
it.
they try to like, if they see somebody like flipping too hard, they try to catch them, and then those motherfuckers get boom, they get hit, and they get taken out.
You see
dude.
one dude who almost won. He's like in 3rd place, and there's like 20 people on the bottom waiting to catch them. Like I don't know why. Instead of just letting them run it out, they're catching them. One dude is just booking it. Has plenty of time to slow down. One of the security guards comes out, big dude, and just stiff arms.
just stands him up. He's like, yeah, you're moving too fast, brother.
Laid out completely.
Dude, it is one of the craziest events on the internet that I've
really
personally seen. Yeah.
I would never do it, but
No. Are you kidding me? For
We
what?
can
Do you
host it.
get
At the very least, good
do you just get a
content.
free block of cheese?
I don't know.
You get street cred.
I think it's a street cred.
I'm the
really.
cheese rolling master.
It's like
I've never
only-
seen somebody win that
you know,
I've been actually
few.
proud of like
Not
that.
worth it.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
gets recognized on the street.
It's
Like,
gotta be
hey,
good
you're the
if people
one
are
guy that
breaking
didn't
their
die?
entire bodies for it. You know, what I mean, it has
Yeah,
to be
no.
amazing.
People, like,
it has to be.
there are
like,
people carried out in stretchers.
yeah.
They can't move. Like they gotta climb up this steep ass. And they make sure they do it on a rainy day too. Well, it's
They
just
always-
always raining there, but
Yeah. It's almost
yeah,
an evil
they gotta
event.
climb up the slimy hill to get somebody. There's I'm pretty sure I've seen 1 or 2 times the people holding the stretchers also ate it and slid down.
Dude, it's a horrible event. Why is it a thing? Does anybody
Dude,
know
'cause
why
it's
it's
so fun to watch.
No, it's a
It's so
tradition
fun.
of
It's
some
a tradition
kind.
of some sort. But
Yeah.
yeah, like
They did back in the day for fun.
Yeah, this is like
They chased
Not
the
that
British
fun,
culture.
but-
hey,
bro.
what should we
Cheese
do today?
crumpets.
You know, we got this big wheel of cheese. Hear me out.
Bet you can't
It was-
catch it before it gets down to
It
the
was
bottom of the
definitely
hill.
like some royalty that was like, all these people are starving. You guys go get it.
Yeah.
They just that's crazy. I bet it was. That's insane.
They've been doing it for a couple 100 years, bro.
Dude.
Thing.
That or one
Wow.
day 2 guys were just standing there and one said, "But you can't catch this wheel of cheese before it gets to the bottom." He says, "I bet you I can." And
Hey,
then
rematch
when it
next year
happened.
on this day. Can I join? Yeah, fuck it.
then more and more people.
Yeah.
Man. I was
I wanna
thinking
go.
of like stoner challenges that you could do like that kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you guys think of that? Like, what would be like a really good? You could do it on your podcast sometime.
Yeah. Smoke
see.
and then answer math questions. Like,
That's hard.
I can't do that sober though. I'm quick math.
No
Yeah.
we'll throw
No.
in the VR. Like, all right, land this airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We do have the VR set. We have been playing around more with the VR set. We could stream it.
VR guy
That'd be
myself.
good. I mean,
Yeah.
you could do like, you know, who can roll a joint the fastest.
The fastest.
Well, that's the kind of more. Just, I don't know. I was thinking like something crazy. Like, yeah.
Drive a car to Walmart.
No.
Back.
Definitely not drive.
Definitely don't drive.
No, we get an Uber to Walmart and like go find these items.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, a scavenger hunt.
A scavenger hunt.
Scavenger hunt. Every step you gotta just drink a cozy sipper. Like 450 milligrams to the face.
Oh God, scavenger hunt when you're high, that would take forever.
Dude. They have one at Hash
You get so
Bash.
you'd get so
Isaac's just gonna
sidetracked.
be staring at the sheets for 45 minutes at Walmart.
Said, what were we
Dude.
here for?
I used to work at Walmart. I would kill it at that challenge. Let me tell you right now. I still got the Me at Walmart app. You know what I'm saying?
He's confident. They switch the stores around a lot.
No,
You're gonna get
I'm
him.
switching stores on my app using voice. I'm quick. I'm very quick.
Y'all thinking that, bro? I got this Walmart pickup before this started.
Wow. Wow.
Be like 3 minutes in, I'm done.
Well, dude, let's smoke some
Yeah,
hash.
we definitely need to think.
Want to break into some terps with me?
Oh.
Yeah. Let's get some hash started here. Yeah. I gotta pull out something.
Permanent marker.
I really like the Zope.
Yeah, I was gonna get that one. It's just he said he had the magic marker, and he's like, "Well, what's the display?" I was like, "I don't really care."
You smelt the Zope?
Yeah,
I
that
like the
one,
Zope a lot.
definitely.
Puff coming out? What are you? Oh, your pivot, huh?
Yeah, I was just gonna throw mine in the pivot.
Hell yeah.
The pivot really seems like a nice device.
I think so.
It's like that portable option, kind of like the Mighty for flour, but concentrates in and out.
Mm-hmm.
You still got the Q-tip situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
What's the pipe one? The old tobacco pipe.
The proxy.
Proxy.
yes,
Yeah.
Proxy.
never hit that one before.
No,
I have once.
Is it good? The same.
Honestly,
It
Rather
just
buy a
seems
pivot.
I don't know,
for
like,
me, out of all their products, it's probably my least favorite.
yeah,
Really?
I agree.
the peak is
can't- it
Water
could be
in that,
better.
Can you?
the peak's the top.
I don't remember.
You can buy a water
Attachment, yeah, I was just-
Does
yeah,
it
I
make
talked
it
to
like
his-
bulkier though?
I think so.
Do you have the water attachment for the pivot?
No.
No. The water attachment for the pivot was cool. I used it at the Puffco event that we went to in Detroit, and it was actually super dope. Like, that thing was. It is it's kind of like the old G pin, if you remember the old G pin, but it's like the ceramic coil just is a whole different vibe with
Yeah.
the Puffco.
Yeah, I feel like
Puffco
these are
makes
some of the
great
best
products.
coils they've had.
Yeah, I honestly like.
I'm-
Personally,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm notorious for with the chambers and like for the old plus ones, the chambers for those and these. I overfill them sometimes.
I
Sometimes.
Flood
And,
them.
I burn through them coils and so quick. And I have to
flood
buy
them.
some. This is one of the first ones where I used it so much.
Mhm.
Honestly, everything on the inside looks the same as the first day I opened it.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I've ran over 1,000 dabs through this device probably, and no, I'm not kidding.
Did those just come out, dude?
I mean, like I've taken it to like all events and like passed it around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like it's been
Get a lot of
heated up
use.
so many times,
Yeah.
and this device is heating up solid every single time. I think it's crazy that you can put their coils in isopropyl and just wash them. Do you even do that with yours, or do you?
I usually just take I just take it apart like that, and I'll take the two things apart right here, and I'll just put them in a thing and soak them in ISO for
Yep.
usually probably not even an hour.
No.
If it's strong
15,
ISO,
20
like I use
sometimes.
99%, so when I put it in there, I might leave it in there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and
That's about what I do.
looks brand new.
Yeah, every single time.
And as long as you stay up on doing that, whether it's your glass rigs, chambers, whatever, all that stuff should stay fairly nice. It's just you got to
Should.
keep up on cleaning it.
You have to keep up. I mean, that's the biggest thing with electronic devices is like, if you're not maintaining them, they're not going to stay alive. But like,
Yeah, you're
there
gonna be
is some
buying new
companies,
Yeah.
like these companies, Storz and Bickel, Puffco, like those companies, like are known to last all the time. You know what I'm saying?
It's got if you maintain it, they'll pretty much last. Forever.
Yes, those.
You got the battery. Sometimes that goes. It's unfortunate, but it's worth it.
That was
Yeah.
my first Puffco Peak. I got one of the first gens, and that was one of the generations where they had the shit batteries on them that just would be no good.
Yeah.
So I got a dead Puffco at home.
I know a lot of people that got the dead Puffco, like the first OG that was just.
And then I got a second gen,
Bet
and
you
then
can
that's
swap
all.
the batteries if you really wanted to.
I've taken this one apart actually completely because that one had a bad issue.
Well,
on
I couldn't get mine sent in because it was mine was like a Team Death Star one where the attachment was done by the Team Death Star guy.
it. They didn't want to
Because
take
it was a custom. There wasn't like an original thing through Puffco, so
What?
it didn't involve like they wouldn't honor the warranty on
They
mine,
won't
so I was
honor
like,
mine, I bet, either, huh? As I don't have my original top at all. Damn, I'm not really worried about it. My Puffco's like 3,000 dabs deep. This one is. I mean, I can show you on the phone. This one is literally 3,000 dabs deep, and I beat the crap out of this Puffco, and I've ran one to 8,000, and it was still running. It actually is.
really?
It is still running. It's actually I traded it for this one, and it is still running. And I know the guy that uses it every day. So
Yeah, that's what's nice about these devices. You can just hit them as hard as you can. It's gonna deliver.
they're gonna rip.
Some of those cheaper ones, like they might be good, but they'll be a little bit more inconsistent.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll work, sometimes not. Sometimes like battery will just die. Or
As soon as you start pulling, the coil cools down completely.
Yeah, these ones have like a little bit higher price, to get in. But man, they're worth it.
Absolutely.
Especially if we're thinking long term, daily use, no problem.
Also, like I said, I love brand image. Like
Crazy
even just looking
Puffcos.
at a Puffco, you're like, dude, that is the future.
Yeah.
I remember seeing my buddies had one of the first gens.
Was that like
He
AI
ripped
or
it out.
something?
Yeah, I was like,
That tastes
where
good.
does it plug in?
Yeah, I like
bro?
that one.
It's
Magic.
very good, bro.
Absolutely.
That
Which one
tastes-
is this?
That's the pivot. It's the same one as the black one.
Yeah, I mean,
magic
that,
marker
that I
in it?
have. Wow, that's so good.
Yeah, the magic marker. is pretty
Robbie
good.
loves the dabs. We're getting him warmed up. That is the
Ready.
Zope.
Okay, that one's pretty good.
Yeah. It's hot. I definitely turned it up a little bit.
We've
Get
been
some
hitting
clouds
dabs
coming.
for 4 days.
It still tastes
straight.
good.
It's still like.
You're getting there. The lungs will train.
Was this that permanent marker? Is that what it was?
Magic marker. That was pretty good.
I love that it also looks like a
is
magic
pretty good.
marker.
This is the very last
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Oh, that vibrated. I can reload it for you, John, if you'd like me to.
Clean it up. Actually, that was pretty tasty.
Was the end of the dab was still tasty, eh?
Yeah. That was soap.
Yeah, that was the Zope. I like the Zope.
That was pretty good. All right,
Have
with
the-
that, we're going to take a short break and stay tuned for this very important message about subscribing.
Subscribing.
Probably. I don't know. Maybe we'll shoot a commercial. Oh, hey there. Sorry, didn't see you. I'm just sitting here editing this video. If you haven't yet, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We don't make any money or anything off of these, at least not yet. So, you know, kind of be messed up if you didn't subscribe. But it's cool, don't worry. But seriously though, I mean, it'd be kind of messed up. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not like mad or anything, but you know, it'd be kind of messed up if you didn't subscribe. Cause seriously, I mean, it's my only day off, and I'm editing, you know, for you guys to watch. It's not for me. I mean, I've seen it. I was there, but seriously, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. But I mean, you should subscribe. I mean, is comment gonna hurt you? Probably not. But it's fine. It's all fine. Seriously though. All right, welcome back. So we got really kind of stoned a little bit, sort of. Through several different devices and joints and hash holes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we were just
stoned.
talking about some new stuff coming out.
Some new Element collab that you guys did.
Yeah,
here
we got some
recently.
like new stuff this year. So yeah, we just did our first collab with Element, and it's Cluster Funk, which we were just kind of talking about. Bodie is the one to make that, and you know, just a really versatile thing you could pair a lot of things with. So Element put some Frogurt hash into it, and so I think this thing came out at like 55% total cannabinoids, and it's definitely like a heavy hitter, definitely heavy indica. Really good effect from it. Definitely.
The packaging was very nice. The
Yeah,
packaging
yeah.
was good. Yeah.
Yeah, Element.
Everything looked good about it.
Yeah,
They were nice.
yeah.
I think one of the things I like about their packaging is like when they get into the terps, how they put, you know, the little pictures for the different
Everything.
things. Yeah.
Yep. They put everything in
I
there.
mean, man, that's what I like about our stuff too. Like we list terps,
Mhm.
and I think that's what something that a lot of companies don't do. That I don't know why terps are super important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, just
I
to be
think-
transparent, like with what you have. And we were finding that a lot of customers are really, you know, demanding that information. You know, really want to know. They just don't want this mystery box, if you will, that just says a name that could be anything. You know, tell me about the terps. Tell me about the cannabinoids. You know, and so
We talked a little bit about the over terping, the fake terping.
yeah,
When we
Fake
were
terping.
at the dispo, and man, some of the videos I've
Yeah.
seen, it's like, dude, they have like the commercial spray bottles, and they're just taking
Just
bags
going to
of
town
weed,
with it.
shake,
Yeah.
like it's insane. I'm like, dude, you got to run that through a dehumidifier.
That was a big
now.
thing back
It's
in
insane.
the day. People used to do like in Black Market. I remember that little smoke shops came out with this like flavored spray you could spray into the bags, and the people would have blueberry and whatever. And it's just like, but when you would smell it, it's like if you knew weed, like you would smell that and know like that's not
It's
a smell
terp
that
spray.
comes from weed.
It's like the
Ugh.
taste of grape and then the artificial grape flavoring.
Ugh.
It's just
It's
like,
like with-
they're nothing alike.
A lot of products out there. I mean, I'm not saying they're bad, but it's just like it's one of those things where it's like me personally, I don't like the fake terp stuff. I mean, I can see the draw to it. I can see the appeal to it. I mean, even back a long time ago, I did enjoy it. But it's just like now when I smell those certain things, like it reminds me of like, you know, when you're like walking, say at a mall or something, you walk by like a store that has a lot of candles or your perfume or
it's like in your face.
You get a lot of those same smells in that. Or, you know, someone's
Cleaning
like, hey,
aisle at Walmart.
Yep.
or hey, do you like this certain thing? Or they're using fake terps and they're like, you smell something that they got and they're extracts and you're just like, that smells like just like straight
Botanical.
Yeah, like there's certain things present. That's a good word for it. Like there's straight candy like smell there.
I work at a smoke shop, and when people come in, and you can smell when they smoke fake terps. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't mean to say like I definitely don't judge someone, but I look at someone and I'm like, damn, you smoke some fake terps for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like that smells like berry punch gelato mess.
Then you're getting into the same thing like it's with the the nicotine vapes like that are flavored. Like those have the stronger flavors and smells. Like you definitely can tell. But I think that's why there's such a draw to fake terps. Because, I mean, I can understand not everybody that wants to smoke can just walk around here or there and smell like weed. Mm-hmm. So I see why people would maybe want the fake terps or whatever. And maybe they don't enjoy the taste of some of the strains.
And that's understood. I do understand the consumer that doesn't like that. And there's definitely brands that reach to those consumers and they... I don't want to say they push... the greatest, cater for sure to those consumers. And in my opinion, I don't smoke that kind of stuff, so I don't like it, and it's not the greatest to me. But like, I think there is some companies out here that are pushing pretty good flower, pretty good products, and also providing to that consumer that wants the faker profile. In my opinion, it's fake. To some people, it's tasty, but I don't love it. It's not my
blasted.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
It's important to when it's an industry, when it's a business, you have to really cater to your customers.
Absolutely.
So if they're demanding something they they want, it's definitely that's a great thing about this industry. There is a lot of choice.
Absolutely,
there's a lot of choice in brands. There's a lot of choice in products. Especially when you go from like black market days where there was whatever it was, that
you're told this one strain,
but
you never really know.
Whatever, now it's just a plethora of stuff that is just so many things, and so it's really important to
cater to every. I mean, it really is. As a company, you guys have to do what you have to do. Sometimes I know definitely to cater to all customers.
Preferences too. I guess that was my next point. Was just like. Some people just like skunky or funky. They just don't like it. Mm-hmm. They want all the fruit, kind of tasting or candy or something sweeter. And then a lot of people vice versa. Just won't touch the stuff. And,
You like the sweeter terps, don't you?
I like it all, honestly.
Yeah,
because I just like how different the plant can taste. It's just that versatile and go from.
It is
like savory. We had this strain one time. It was Sakura, I think. Mm-hmm. Or what was that strain? You remember, Jeff?
Not 100%. There's been so many different.
Yeah, right. There has been a lot of strains. But honestly, it had I tried the Mighty. It almost tasted like it's Japanese steakhouse, like hibachi,
meaty terps.
Yeah, that was interesting. And then he got Forbidden Jelly. Which is one of ours, and how crazy that one is. You just, first time I smelled that, I was like, man, I've never smelled weed like that before.
The first time I smelled it, oh my gosh, I just thought it was crazy. Yes, it is crazy. It really is.
But then you get stuff like Apollo that it's really kind of old school, and
not everybody's gonna like.
Not everyone's gonna like it. Yeah,
I like the Apollo actually. Yeah. I like it a lot.
For me, like the stronger, almost. I mean, I don't want to say nasty in a bad way, but the more raunchy, nasty, just over the top, just
disgusting,
very loud, smell through 3 bags type of smell terps. That's what I like.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what you like. I see. That's
how it's always
what I
been,
like
though, right?
too.
I mean, it's always been like the loudest. Whatever you just smell.
The stinkiest.
Yeah, like whatever it was.
I mean,
It didn't really matter what it was.
I feel like that's what catches your attention the most when you're shopping, for sure. Is like when you put your face in a jar and it's like, holy shit.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I like weed, like all different kinds of weed. It's just, I think everybody has preferences, and I just prefer those types. But that doesn't mean I'm not gonna smoke, some of the other fruitier stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I smoke all types of weed. I'll smoke just about anything. I like gassy terps, you know what I'm saying? And like the forbidden jelly, I really enjoy it. So it's definitely one that hits well.
So now that we're heading towards the end, I would say each one of you guys, what 3 products would you recommend as far as the actual strains and such go?
Sure. I would say like trying one of our award winners. So Mr. Clean, Lilac Diesel, or Death by Funk. Really awesome terps on that. Really great effects. Mr. Clean, I mean, when you open up the jar and just smell it for the first time, you're like, wow, that's
crazy. We had that
really
actually on
different.
video last time. It was
just like
really in your face. And Death by Funk is actually one of our own. It's a cross between Death Star and Cluster Funk, and it is fantastic strain for really giving that indigo effect. Is Death by Funk to a nutshell. And let's see, something else. We have some, new stuff coming. I think people are going to be really excited about. Always trying to come up with different things, different, terp profiles, different stuff. So, definitely be on the lookout for that. And honestly, our RSO. Like, I think we talk a lot about flower and this and that, but I think RSO is a really important thing, and it's kind of undervalued. I think a lot of people just don't really realize what it is or what it does or just the versatility of it. And we really have some good stuff. In fact, we won the High Times Cannabis Cup with it.
Yeah, I saw you guys just
Angelica RSO.
Congratulations.
Really excited about that.
Yeah.
Add to the collection.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. And honestly, it's credit to the extraction team.
Yeah, they're great,
Yeah.
man. They worked on
Fantastic
that
group of guys.
Did a very good job on that one. Honestly, anytime they make the RSO, whether it's strain specific, even when we make a mixed RSO batch, it doesn't matter. I mean, all their stuff turns out top quality where I can take and make it in those gummies. I mean, that's one of the things I like too. That's one of my favorite things is the RSO gummies, the Dutch Crunch ones.
Very tasty.
Yeah, I like the RSO a lot too. Like he said. And I think one of the things I probably would recommend the most is I always am buying Cluster Funk flower. I mean, the years of smoking, there's few strains I've come across where it's just I can continuously smoke, and I haven't found my ceiling for that one yet, where it just always gives me the desired effects. I mean, I always enjoy the flavor.
Yeah,
it's just a dependable smoke for me.
Cluster Funk is phenomenal.
Gotta love it.
It is great. It is great in all forms for sure.
It's one of those rare ones that, I mean, as a grower, you search for that. I mean, it performs in all the categories you want it to.
Delivers constant.
Yeah. It's not the hardest plant to grow. You can feed it fairly well. It does really good yields. It does good THC. It washes well. It extracts for BHO well.
It's the best strain in the book right now, eh?
I mean, it was a no-brainer. I mean, that one's been around for a while for us. So, I mean, I don't see it going anywhere. It's one of our go-tos.
I hope it doesn't.
I would say, I feel
terrible.
the same thing about another one we got that I feel is probably a little overlooked, maybe, that people might not get as often. I think Angelica is a really, really good strain that we have. It has a nice, classic, very smooth type of OG Kush flavor, but it also has, a good amount of power behind there and delivers a good effect. And it's those nice, real, dense Kush nuggets. It's the old Hell's Angels OG cut.
Angelica.
Yep. That's probably
just
my
sounds
second
tasty.
favorite.
I've smelt it. I have not tried it.
Good.
I definitely need to.
I usually have some. If I would have had some, I would have brought
I will definitely pick up next time I'm at Green Labs.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Green Lab's best
Well,
dispo.
we appreciate you guys coming out.
Yeah, no problem.
Honestly,
Yeah, no problem,
like
guys.
we
Thanks
just
for
kept
having
going
us.
longer than usual because this was
Yeah,
awesome.
this was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys
So,
coming
a lot of
down.
information. Yep. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I know it's annoying. I gotta say it. And yeah, shout out to Dutch Touch Genetics, available at Green Labs in Luna Pier, Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Dutch Touch.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, appreciate you guys coming on.
Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Perfect. You guys killed it.